You can experience the music of the legendary Johnny Cash at an event coming to Walton Arts Center. Joining us to share more is Debbie Horton, the only woman to ever play lead guitar for Johnny Cash. Hey,
Hey,
Debbie.
Debbie.
Hey, good morning. How are you
We're
guys?
We're
great.
great. Great to see you. Take us
Good to
back to
be
the
here.
moment you became a fan of Johnny Cash.
Oh, well, that was very easy. I was just a little kid back then, and I saw Johnny on TV, and he turned around. He says, "Hello, I'm Johnny Cash," and that music was like something I'd never heard before. He had such a driving beat, and the stories of his songs, they just grabbed a hold of me as a child, and I loved it, and it became a lifelong passion. Not only being a Johnny Cash fan, but he encouraged me to pursue a music career, which I've been a professional entertainer for 30 years now. And now
Wow.
I'm part of the official Johnny Cash concert experience. And wow, how great is that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
for
going to be
sure.
fantastic for sure. Can you tell us a story about being the first woman to play lead guitar for Johnny, what that was like for you?
Well, sure. I'm not the first, I'm the only.
Only, first
Okay.
and
Because
only.
the only, yeah. Many years ago, I was at a concert of Johnny's near Baltimore, Maryland, and I didn't get a chance to visit with him before this particular show. And we had known each other for many years at this point. And I said, Johnny, I have learned to play guitar now, like Luther Perkins, and one day I'd like to show you. Okay. So, right in the middle of the show, to my surprise, Johnny says, "Debbie, come play the guitar for me." Okay. So I get up and I go down on stage and he hands me the guitar, and he says, "What do you want to do?" And I said, "Let's do Big River." And we performed Big River together. And then after that, he every time I'd see him, he said, "There's Debbie, the only woman that ever played lead guitar for me." And so we're gonna be doing Big River on the show.
Of
Oh,
course, yeah, that's
nice.
great.
Yeah, absolutely. Debbie, I know a lot of people want to know what was Johnny like in person?
He was a great man. He was a very humble man around his fans and around the people that would come up to him. I was around him for over 20 years, all right. And every time I'd be with him, he would be so sweet. Like he would be the kind of guy that would say, "What can I do for you?" If he saw you, he'd say, "Hey, what can I do for you? I want an autograph. I want to shake your hand. I want to take a picture." And the story I liked the best was a reporter asked him once, "Say, Johnny, you're so famous. When you're out dinner with your family and you're at a restaurant and somebody comes up to you, like during your meal, and they say, 'Hey, can I have an autograph?' What do you do?" And he says, "I put my fork down."
I love that.
Yeah.
Because
That's a
he
great
knew
answer.
where he
Absolutely.
was had all the great things that he had. It was because of his fans and the people that loved him.
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
What can people expect from the Johnny Cash concert experience that's coming up, Debbie?
Well, this is like nothing that's ever been done before. And I want to make it clear that this is the first and only official show that's been put out by the estate of Johnny Cash. And this is not what we call a tribute show, all right, so to speak. This is a celebration of his music, a celebration of the great stories. And his son, John Carter Cash, is going to be making commentary in between some of the songs. And the show just has a beautiful flow. And by the time you leave, you'll feel like you've gotten to know Johnny Cash from a musical standpoint, because his music reflected who the man really was. And fans that had seen Johnny for years, they're going to come back and they're going to hear his voice booming through these beautiful concert halls. We've got 90 shows that we're going to take this all over the country. And our first stop is the Walton Center. And that's
Yes, we're
Yeah,
so
which is
excited to have you
awesome.
yeah,
here.
Absolutely. You've
very
mentioned
exciting.
one already, Debbie. Any other songs that you are excited to perform during the concert experience?
Oh yeah. Well, like we're gonna have Folsom Prison Blues and I Walk the Line and Ring of Fire, and of course Big River. That's gonna be the one that's closest to my heart. And then the ballads, like some of the ones like Give My Love to Rose is on there. And we're even gonna go into some of the newer stuff that Johnny did too. But I don't want to give it all away.
Yeah, you
Right.
got to just tease
It
it.
was like just a little bit of a tease. You got
Yeah,
to
Just a
come to the
teeny
show to
bit,
get
yeah,
the
just a little bit.
full experience.
that's right. Can you tell us a little
Itty
bit before we let you go about being the Virginia representative for the Johnny Cash fan club?
Oh yeah, that was a lot of fun. I was a teenager back in those days, and Johnny had this fan club, and my job was to keep in touch with all of the other Virginia members. So we'd have a newsletter that would go out quarterly, and then as their representative, I had to send out little letters. So this is in the days of pen pals and writing letters. We
Yes.
didn't have social media, so our social media was take an envelope and put a stamp on it and put it in the mail.
Yeah, for
That was
sure.
it back then.
Well, thanks for spending a little bit
Yes,
of
thank
your
you so
day
much,
with us. We
Debbie.
appreciate it. Looking forward to the show. You can see Johnny Cash, the official concert experience for yourself when it comes to Walton Arts Center on Saturday, October 14th and the 15th. Tickets for the show start at $35.